is Arlene.
Hi, this is Gowri.
And together we have a guest. His name is Rizal van Geyzel. And he is a comedian.
Yep.
You are the founder of One Mic Stand and the Crackhouse Comedy Club.
Co-founders.
Co-founders.
Both, yeah.
Oh, both. And today you're going to talk about comedy.
Comedy, yeah, good. Because there was somebody outside who said I was going to ask me if I was going to talk about traditional medicine. I was like, no. Well, I know laughter is, I know there's traditional medicine, but it's.
I can't believe you're making us laugh already. that was the topic that we were planning to have, but it didn't happen.
Okay, so instead you got some modern medicine, isn't it? So
Okay.
That's funny.
Well,
Okay, let's move on. So tell us how you got started doing
Into comedy?
comedies. Yeah.
I actually started a long time ago. I was more than 10 years ago now. I decided to do stand-up comedy at an open mic night, then in the place in Central Market,
Mm-hmm.
There's this place called Liquid Bar or something.
sounds very...
Yeah, it was,
Dodgy.
Yes, it's very lebo ampang,
Yeah.
Okay.
And I did it, and then somehow or other the word got around, and the next time I did it, Harith Iskandar was there. I guess, like I said, not many people were doing stand-up. So
okay.
when somebody did it, I guess he heard about it, straight away came, and he saw me do myself. That second time when he came, I was terrible.
Oh.
I went out to a silent audience. I think I wanted to drink poison after I finished. It was just painful, when people don't laugh and you just talk, So I did it for
Right.
like 15 minutes. And I came off stage and he took it better than I thought. I thought he was going to tell me like, hey man, it's not for everyone. But no, he was very supportive. He was like, hey man, that took a lot of guts,
Okay.
It says
But I thought you are born funny.
well,
Because I saw you twice
uh-huh.
at your show at One Mic Stand. You were hilarious.
Yeah, well, I'm a living joke, I guess. But yeah, the being naturally funny is what I've been told that I have that ability. But it's I heard to stand up comedy. There's a lot more than just being funny. This I've come to learn when I start doing stand up. I went, oh, okay, so it's not just going up on stage and making people laugh. I mean, it is essentially about it, but there's more honesty and a bit more I have to say sophistication.
Right.
Sophistication?
Yeah, I know.
How do you relate to it?
I'm from Ampang. I sound damn snobbish, right? Sophistication.
So I was reading your profile, and it seems that you have like 4 or 5 different ancestries.
Oh yeah. Well, both my parents are mixed. Actually, my dad
okay.
is really mixed Dutch and Hokkien,
Okay.
and my mom is mixed Malay with a Turkish grandma.
Right.
So you become?
Bumi Putra. That's a running joke. Yeah.
Right. Do you watch football though?
Hardly actually.
Oh, okay.
I hardly watch football unless I have a connection with the game. Like I know somebody's playing.
Oh, you want to make a
sound
joke
like
about football?
You sound like a
If I'm
girl.
making a joke about football, I'm a bit of a cynic when it comes to football. I
okay.
don't follow a team,
So it comes to jokes, right? I've always wondered, do you try to be more spontaneous, or do you actually plan out your jokes a few days in advance, a few
Both.
months? Both?
Both. You have a little bit of both. You go up on stage, you have like a general plan of what to say, topics to talk about, and then of course you have to remember the punchlines and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And then while you tell it to the audience, sometimes you can, what we say, riff. You riff on it. It means that you play it to the, maybe there's a reaction in the audience that's different, so you play with that, like, somebody's touchy about the subject or whatever, so yeah, it's you make it balanced lah.
Who were the early ones, the early batch of the stand-up comedians? Because as far as I know, I was exposed to stand-up comedy when I watched Russell Peters.
Yeah.
Quite late in life.
Yeah, Russell Peters made like a big, a huge impact on the Asian market for stand-up comedy. I think he made it acceptable for people to laugh at Indian and Chinese and that's it, Indian and Chinese jokes, right? But from Canada or something. Yeah, but yeah, it broke a market. But in Malaysia, I have to say that the one that started the whole thing is Harith Iskandar.
I thought you were going to say it's me.
So
What?
who do you make fun of when you do your
Yeah.
jokes?
Everyone and anyone. I guess anyone and everyone that's worth making fun. That's worth poking fun at. And as long as it's funny, if I have a it's better that I have a personal attachment to it, because then it becomes more honest.
You also perform outside of Malaysia.
Yes,
And in
yes.
particular
not,
Singapore.
Yeah, just around the region.
So
Yeah.
do you make fun of governments as well? Just to be.
Oh man, politics is like staple, you
Okay.
cannot, everywhere you go, you just political jokes work everywhere and around the world. I think you just need to switch. You switch. For wherever it suits, I'm not going to say any names, but I'm tempted. But no, I want you
I
guys
can
to
see
keep
that.
your license.
It's like waiting to come out, but you're like, no.
Yeah, I don't want you guys to get shut down. That's why. So.
So who are your early influences, if you have any, who really inspired you?
Yeah. How
Because
did
everyone has like that one person when they watch and they're like, that's it. I'm gonna
be like
this
him?
person.
Oh wow! It is so many, man. It changes from time to time. I really like. Well, one of my favorites is of course Dave Chappelle. Have you heard of Dave Chappelle? Yeah, he's definitely one of my favorites. But that's if I go through YouTube, there's different comics from different regions that I enjoy, because the variety of styles is what keeps it interesting. So in America, probably one of my favorites is Dave Chappelle currently, and Hannibal Buress. And in the UK, you have a big comedy scene as well. Very witty, very dry.
It's a different
comedians.
sort of compared to America.
On that end, I like comedians like Stuart Lee. No one's ever heard of him, but I like him. He's very alternative, and I appreciate him. And then also, of course, there's Asian comics, and not Asian comics brought up in a Western country, proper Asian comics. Like from the Philippines, there's GB Labrador. He's one of my favorites as well. Hong Kong, there's a guy called Vivek Mahbubani, who is an award-winning English and Cantonese-speaking comedian who's Indian.
Oh.
What?
Interesting. He's really funny, and we brought him down to perform in KL for 3 nights, and he absolutely tore the roof off. So yeah, it depends on
And
what style.
you perform with Kumar as well from Singapore.
Yes, last Sunday in
How
fact
is
in
it
Penang.
to perform with Kumar?
It's great. It's great.
Did he hit on you or something?
Only on stage in front of everyone. But he's great. He attracts a really great crowd. Like his people, the crowd that come to see Kumar, they're very geared for comedy. Obviously they come out to see Kumar, right? I mean, so it's great. And he brings a huge crowd. So the last show I did with him was 1,000 people in Penang.
Wow.
It was really immense.
Half of it is for you,
I say again?
Half of the attendees
So
might be
it was
about
500 for you and 500 for Kumar.
I doubt it. I don't have much of a following in Penang or following anywhere really. No, I really just tumpang his stage. I borrow his.
She's from Penang.
spotlight.
I think she's
I'm
like
from
a fan
Penang.
already.
All right.
Was it for Georgetown Festival?
Yes, it was for
Right.
Georgetown Festival.
I think
Yeah.
they brought him down last year as well.
That's right. Yeah.
And I miss it every time.
Another act that is increasing is from Middle East, and one of it is Mas Jobani. You also did an opening act for him.
I did open for Mas Jobrani as well.
How was it?
It was great. It was quite an experience, not just to share the stage, but to see him work the crowd, because Mas Jobrani is. He is by nationality, I would say, but he's American. He has an American passport, but his origin
Heritage.
is Iran from
Persian.
we're Persian. So he performed to an audience in Malaysia, about 500 people, comprising of about 400 Persian expats living in Malaysia, who
Wow.
probably never been to the US, just came from Iran straight to Malaysia, and he had to cater to them. And to see him work that crowd was really crafty, because these folks they're not so exposed to Western TV because they come from Iran. Iran is everything Western is forbidden. It's forbidden. So they're not really exposed. But they hear Mas Jobrani and like, okay, he's Iranian and he's in Hollywood, so represent. So they came out, but it was really interesting, and he was really funny. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And another one thing is, what about from East Asia? Did you ever perform with them, like from Hong Kong?
Well, yeah, Hong Kong. There's a huge scene in Hong Kong. Now it's building up in Shanghai, Beijing. There's comedy clubs opening up there.
So you spoke in Chinese?
No. I do English, but most of the stand-up comedy shows in I would say in that part of Asia are catered for expats. In China especially, they're very catered for. Very few of them that come around are Chinese locals, who are they're educated, they've lived abroad, they're exposed a bit, so then they go to the comedy shows. But they're over there in Shanghai and Beijing and even Hong Kong they have a huge expat community there, so that's what they cater to.
Talking about locals, what about the Malay scene? Do they have their own stand-up comedy, or you are starting one for it?
Well, actually, there is Malay-speaking stand-up comedy. From what I know, it's started by this company called Rumah Anak Theatre, and they started doing Cerita Malam Jumaat. It's interesting. They call it Cerita Malam Jumaat. Well, from what I hear, it's because they don't want to intentionally say that it's comedy, because making people laugh is very hard. So what if you bring up a speaker and he doesn't make anyone laugh and say this is not comedy, this is just cerita? So they call it Cerita Malam Jumaat to reflect storytelling. But most of them is stories that happen to be really funny. And I actually went to one of their shows last week, and it's great. It's so funny. It's to see local Malaysians of all races, not just Malays. There were also one Punjabi guy, and I'm pretty sure there'll be a Chinese guy to go up there pretty soon. But it was really, really, I would say, refreshing to hear stand-up comedy in, the national language. I wouldn't say my mother tongue, because my mother tongue's English, but still, it's our.
Maybe it's your father tongue,
language. My father tongue.
That's
right. Yeah, actually, yeah. My father was Dutch from Port Dickson, so I don't know. I don't speak Dutch, but yeah.
Do you ever tell a joke and you think it's a killer joke and people don't laugh?
All the time.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say all the time. But it happens,
How do you react to that?
Has to happen. You cannot tell a joke and expect it to work straight away. I mean, sometimes it does, and you get lucky, and but more often than none, you tell a joke, it doesn't work, and you realize, okay, you gotta go home and change it a little bit.
Oh, because do you think Malaysians are an uptight bunch?
Not really. If you get them in a comedy club or a comedy show, they know what's coming. They sit down and you'd be surprised. A lot of expats and foreign talents that come through Malaysia, they sit through a show and they are shocked at the stuff that Malaysians laugh about, because they hear things, their publicity about Malaysia is not really great outside of Malaysia. So they come here and they think, it's a Muslim country, I'm sure you cannot, there's a lot of restrictions, you cannot. But then they sit through a show and there are all these jokes about, race and religion and, politics and even, pornography and stuff like that. Everyone's cracking up and they're like, this is crazy, like you never expect, crowd like in Malaysia to be so open, but they are.
And another thing that I want to ask is, people usually say that comedians are antisocial people. They don't like people, which is why they use their jokes to keep people away. How true is that?
Well, I guess some comedians are like that, and some comedians
Not you.
just. Am I really? I don't see myself as antisocial,
Okay, so you love people.
Yeah, I guess that I'm that kind of comedian. So there are comedians there are comedians that they're open micers. We call them open micers. They come around and they do shows. Some of them are very quiet. They sit in the corner there. They don't talk to anyone. But when they go on stage, they're so funny. And the stuff that they talk about is so personal, and it's very heartful, and they absolutely perform very well. But yeah, off stage, they're very quiet. They sit in a corner, So there's some people like that.
Do comedians keeps their issue to themselves?
Oh no, we share it with everyone.
Is this how you relieve your stress?
Yeah. It's a channel for us, really. It's a way for us to deal with this. Well, this is gonna sound a bit weird. So comedians, what they do is they go up on stage and they make their life sound so miserable so that others can go home and feel happy about theirs. That's the harsh truth. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna kill myself or anything. Okay? People, I'm not. But I guess you have to be a bit mental to be doing stand-up comedy. To get in front of a crowd and make them laugh.
And you also do trainings for up-and-coming comedians with your comedy Crackhouse Comedy KL.
Well, we've we've actually run the first workshop. I don't personally train the boys. I give them feedback and I give them encouragement.
For example.
Yeah, because it's very sensitive, when you talk to other comedians. The comedians bare their soul on stage. So anything you question about their thoughts, you're questioning their soul, So it's a very sensitive thing. But I do as much to encourage and to nurture upcoming talent because the market is very small and we need more people to get into it.
We'll be doing it one more time for the training?
Yeah, we'll be doing more workshops in the future. Right now we've just had one, which is with a Los Angeles comedian, Luke Ashlock, who happens to be in town because he got deported from Australia. That's another long story. So he's in town for like a month. Very funny guy. So he's staying at my partner's house and he's just jumping up and doing gigs and helping out with the open micers to craft their material and get them funnier.
So Arlene here thinks that she's very funny, and that's probably why she's been asking about your training because she wants to probably join you.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I want to join you.
Okay, well,
and then she said that it's one of her dreams to do a
it's one of my bucket lists. I want to do it at least once. To know that maybe I don't make people laugh, but at least I done it.
So I think that the fact that she thinks she's funny is already funny. So.
Well, what you need to find is the open mic night.
Yeah.
You came to One Mic Stand. That's the original weekly open mic night that we have every Tuesday at Jaya 1. And now we have Crackhouse has every Sunday open mic night. And then there's also Comedy Cow Cow in the B Publica.
Oh, okay.
That's once a month. That's also an open mic night. So you go, you just sign up for an open mic night. You get 3 minutes. You go up and sweat yourself. It's very nerve wracking.
Talking about like all the different avenues for stand-up comedy, can you explain it maybe clearer? Like where is it exactly located for each of it?
What do you mean, the shows?
The shows.
Okay, well, as I mentioned, the One Mic Stand is a weekly show every Tuesday. Happens at Jaya 1 in a theater called PJLA, but it's not in the theater. It's in a small room next to the theater. It's called the Cabaret Room. Every Tuesday, you've been there twice, right? And then Crackhouse Comedy Club. This is a new monument in stand-up comedy in Malaysia because it is the first dedicated club for stand-up comedy in the Southeast Asia, not just Malaysia, I suppose. And that's in Taman Tun, TTDI KL, Rahim Kajai 14. And that's open 5 nights a week, not just once or twice. 5 nights a week. Wednesday, we have improv night. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we have headliner nights. We fly in headliners from all over the region or outside of the region. And then Sunday night is open mic night.
Wow, you are a busy man.
busy.
Do you have any other jobs, or is this
Not
your full-time
anymore.
thing?
Not anymore.
Oh,
I used to.
Awesome.
I used to do stand up part time.
Okay.
But exactly 1 year ago, I decided to quit my full time job and pursue this.
What is your full-time job? Or what was your full-time?
What was my previous job? My full time job was in a hotel. Worked in a hotel.
Yeah.
So I seem to have always involved myself in, making others happy. One way or another.
So you found your calling. This is it. You're going for it.
Yeah. I'm very lucky like that, I guess.
Interesting. And maybe you can share some of your, I guess, friends or peers who already make it or are out there, just to promote all the different comedians.
There's not many of us. To be truthful, there's not many of us. The one I work closely with is Kevin J. Have you heard? Kevin J is also a radio DJ.
Oh, okay.
And he and I run the One Mic Stand, and he's very much involved in Crackhouse as well. And he's also one of the highly inquired comedians for private shows and corporate events in Malaysia. And then there's the Dr. Jason Leong, who's a full-time doctor, and for some reason thought he could.
He's from MACC, right?
Yeah, the Malaysian Association of Chinese Comedians.
Yep.
It's such a racist comedy show. And then there's also well, now that you brought MACC, there are the other boys, Kwa Jen Han, Douglas Lim, and Pun Chi Ho. Who they keep themselves busy doing stuff like musicals and sitcoms and dramas and all that. So we keep the stand-up comedy scene going. We keep the underground scene going. So anyone joins in. One of these boys or even Harith Iskandar as well. We might just pop up at the comedy club and do like 10
So that
minutes.
day he actually pop up.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, that you came for 100th anniversary.
Mhm,
Okay, well,
yeah.
yeah. We invited him for that one.
He didn't pop up.
Yeah, he didn't just happen to turn up. But yeah, it was a great show, that one. 100th anniversary. Harith Iskandar headlining our open mic night. It was really, really cool to see him come down and just do an open mic night. You know, I mean, Harith is one of the highest paid comedians in Malaysia. You know, and you have to really catch him at, you know, a good timing in a nice venue. But once in a while, you know, he'll come through and just jump up and have fun.
Since this is your full-time job, so what do you foresee, like what's next in terms of the comedy scene in Malaysia?
I don't know. We just opened the first comedy club. So it's like, yeah, I guess, you know, it's
Open
good,
another one.
Good, no. Well, good comedy, I would say. A lot of stand-up. And I think the bigger stand-up gets, in my opinion, I think the better the quality of the stand-up becomes, everything else should follow through. You know, everything should get better as well. Radio, TV, you know, because it teaches people how to be entertaining and honest at the same time. You know, so I think it will, you know, eventually it can do a lot of change. I think stand-up is a very potent form of art that it can you know, has a lot of ripples, you know, that could change the waves.
Just wondering, like within Southeast Asia.
What am I saying? I have no idea. It's too early for a comedian to be up at, what is it, 8:30 a.m.?
It's 8:57 to be
We will
exact.
serve you coffee later. Just wondering, like within Southeast Asia, I mean, besides Malaysia, have you interacted with other Southeast Asian comedian, and what is happening out there?
There's I mean, the scene is growing exponentially in other parts of the region. In Singapore, I would say it's just as big as Malaysia. They've had their first ever Singapore Comedy Fringe Festival.
Wow.
You know, it was 6 nights with 13 or 14 shows, comedians from all around the world, and it was a packed house every single show. Singaporeans, mind you, comedy show. Very rare.
That's the thing.
They read it. It was great. I was so honored to be a part of it, and we had an amazing trip. In Indonesia as well. I actually went to Jakarta right after the Fringe Festival. In Indonesia, there's a big scene, but check this out. In Indonesia, there's as big of a scene in English stand-up as there is in Bahasa.
Oh, okay.
So the top comics there primarily perform stand-up in Bahasa Indonesia, and English is the secondary language. In Manila, also, it's the same thing. They have just as big of a scene in Tagalog as they have in English. Actually, no, I'm mistaken. In Tagalog is huge. In English is a bit of a niche market.
Okay.
Yeah. But we're all growing, and everyone's really funny. So, you know, at any time when you know, we don't have any comedians from Australia or South Africa or America, we can just call one from our neighboring countries. You know, hey, you want to come up and do half an hour, perform, you know, for one night in KL, and you know, they'll do it just for the travel. You know, comedians are very broke people. You know, they don't make a lot of money, so but they get to travel and make people laugh. You know, to them that's the best job in the world.
And we envy you for that.
Well, the audience, or the that's because I don't have a boss. That's why.
You are your own boss.
I'm my
I guess.
own boss. That's right. Actually, no, the audience is my boss. When I work, they're telling me pretty much what to do.
Yeah, either you're funny or not.
That's
but
right.
to us, you are funny.
Oh, thank you. Thank
So
you very much. Very
do you have a killer joke that you prepared for us so before we wrap things
I
up?
really did it just now when you asked me about my ancestry. That's my creme of the crop. It's one of
I have one. I'm gonna ask you.
Okay.
What did the baby tomato say to Papa Tomato?
Okay. What?
Oh, sorry, I got it wrong. What did Papa Tomato say to Baby Tomato?
What?
Catch up.
Oh. Yeah, don't do open mic night with that joke. Don't. People would generally go. I mean, jokes like that, people might think that, oh, I could just read that off the internet.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that was just off the top of my head.
It's all right though. It's all right. Yeah, keep.
Let's just join the training.
Yeah, let's join
with
the
Crackhouse
training.
Comedy Club. Anyway, thank you very much, Rizal.
Thank you guys. It's been fun.
Yeah.